We have something called a sports section of this. We have a tournament that we host a tournament every 2 years. In this tournament, there's something called a regional tournament where all the fighters in California, Texas, Nevada, Oregon, and Seattle, and Washington compete. The Western states, pretty much, compete, and we try to find out who the best fighters are. Whoever the two best fighters in that weight class gets to compete at the national level. Now you get to fight the best fighters all over the country. And then after you win your first and second place on that one, you get to compete at the world level. You're part of Team USA, and you get to fight for the United States, and you get to represent the United States, and you get now to be the honor and the opportunity to compete with the best fighters in the world. And should you win that, well, you're going to be a world champion. And you know you've earned it because it took steps for people to get there. Right now, we've just competed our national tournament last August, and now we're getting ready to go to Italy this July. And Mark over here qualified to go to the World Championship in July. So. But we're going to showcase you how we fight, how we compete. So Mark and Brad, please face off. Now this armor looks very thick, but it's designed to prevent permanent damage, but it still hurts. Okay, it still hurts. Jaws have been dislocated this. I've had broken ribs with this, but you know, I'm crazy. That's why I'm here. So, all right, ready? Begin. Thank you very much. So that's our competition mode. When we're competing, that's what we're showcasing. Go ahead and take off your arms. The next thing I'm going to be showcasing is Mark, and this is one of the reasons why he's going to Italy. He did this thing where we also honor our traditions. Now, Filipino martial arts, what makes it so unique is that it was used against the oppression of Spain in the Philippines. Spain subjugated the Philippines for over 400 plus years. And as a result of that, they outlawed any practice of Filipino martial arts. Now, have you heard of the men's traditional dress called the barong? It's a lot like the guyabera, but it's see-through. And the reason for that it's see-through is because the Spaniards were so afraid of whatever weapons they were carrying on our persons that they wanted to make sure that, hey, you're good, okay, no, you're not carrying any weapons against me, that they'll be able to do that. So in order for us to continue to practice the art without having the Spaniards coming down on us and raining, terror on us, we decided to hide it in our dances. And Mark's going to be showcasing his national winning form for you today. Mark, the stage is yours. I mentioned that why do we start with a weapon first and move into empty hands? May I borrow your seat first? I want you to tell me which one's faster. Which one was faster? The stick. So the reason why we think this way is because if we can fight something or catch something that's 50 times faster, how much easier would it be if it's 50 times slower, right? Also, it's the philosophy that's behind this. The very first known Filipino martial artist was Lapu-Lapu. And if you know some of the world history, Magellan, who tried to circumnavigate the world, stopped over in Philippines. And when he got there, he met this tribal warrior named Lapu-Lapu. Well, Lapu-Lapu ended his trip, right? Now, the thing about it was Lapu-Lapu is a military genius. He knew that the Spaniards had the rifles, they had the guns, and they had the cannons, they had the ships. So when, in the European style of fighting at the time, or warfare, is that they first have to establish a beachhead. So by the time, the ships of Magellan could not get close to the land, they had to get off the ship and walk towards the shore. The water was about knee high. But now, if you ever walked on the beach, you know how hard it is to walk on the beach, right? Now imagine if you're wearing 50 pounds of armor with that. Okay, now, what he decided to do, Lapu-Lapu decided to do, with just sticks, some swords, and some shields, attack Magellan's team before they can ever get to the shore. And because it's the water, guess what? Their guns were useless. Because it was wet. So by the time Magellan figured out that he was being killed, he was like, you guys are cheating. Cheater. You're supposed to wait for us over there, and then we'll beat you up. You know? But he decided, he has a military thinking. And up to date, we've translated to that. I'm proud to have one of my students, a former reserve Marine, Mr. Brad Evans. And just like in our militaries today, they train them first with a weapon, and they move into empty hands. Why? Because we want to make sure that we give our fighting men and women the best chances to what? To come home. Right? There's no rules in wanting to get home. In war, you just want to get home. There's not like, okay, you ready to fight? You ready to fight? Okay, let's fight. No. Whoever, whatever it takes. So, if we give our Marines the guns, the vests, the knives, the grenades, but you take that all away, I've asked this to him many times, are you any less of a Marine, or are you still just as deadly of a Marine? And of course, he is.